Chapter 18, A Relative Thought. Episode 5, Part 3. Boo! Peach shrieked and covered her mouth. Blooper stumbled sideways in surprise. Boo had startled them in the middle of the restaurant, and the diners around them turned around to see what was happening.
Go, keep on eating,
Boo said out loud. The Bob-ombs dining at the other tables did so with confusion. In fact, each diner was personally told before entering the restaurant that a game show would be taking place in the surrounding area.
I don't like that,
Peach said in a whiny voice.
I hate being scared.
Sorry, he replied.
I just wanted to say that you have an assignment to do. See that piece of paper? Here, have a pen.
Blooper immediately grabbed the pen from him.
On the other side, put each of your 5 names and your worst fears next to it,
he instructed.
Or something that you despise or can't stand. I have a fear of the mole,
Lakitu said.
You must be honest with your answers,
Boo continued.
And don't be embarrassed by revealing what your biggest fear is, whether it be ghosts or spoiled milk. Once you're done, give it to me.
He left as quickly as he had appeared.
Sometimes Boo can be so funny,
commented Toadette.
What's he trying to do with us now? What are you afraid of?
Blooper questioned. He wrote Toadette's name below his.
Well, if you ask me first,
she replied,
spiders are just so creepy. They have 8 legs, when you're supposed to only have 2.
Toadette spider.
Me too,
Peach said in agreement.
Write my name down and put the same thing. You can't put the same thing down,
Blooper told her. She looked at him strangely.
And how do you know this?
She asked. Blooper only shrugged, and wrote down spider besides Peach's name.
No, change it to snakes,
Peach said quickly.
Snakes are much scarier.
Lakitu out of nowhere, Blooper says that choosing the same fear is not allowed. Blooper, I guess I slipped something out by accident. But it was just my way of taking control of the group, because I rarely get to do so at all. I believe that by saying things, I can take further control as a player. Peach snakes.
I'll go next,
Lakitu said.
When I was little, we lit these firecrackers in our backyard in the summer. Okay? So we're doing it, and just, suddenly, without warning, it went off in my hand for no damn reason and then my hand is on fire.
Luigi burst out laughing in the middle of his water drinking.
It's not funny,
Lakitu argued. The others laughed.
Lakitu, you're afraid of fireworks,
Peach repeated.
I'll keep that in mind. Ever since that incident,
Lakitu continued,
I've never even been near fireworks or firecrackers, for as long as I could remember. Wow,
Luigi said.
That must really stink. No kidding. Is that your fear?
Blooper questioned.
Fireworks.
Lakitu nodded. Lakitu fireworks.
I can go for Luigi,
Peach said, looking at him.
Right, the dark. He's petrified of it.
Luigi dark.
Why are you the one writing and not us?
Toadette said suddenly. She reached across the table, but he pulled it away.
No,
Blooper replied.
Mine.
Next to his name, he wrote a word that confused all the other players simultaneously. Blooper gold.
Are you kidding me?
Toadette said in surprise.
Gold. What kind of person are you? Guys, I find it really fishy that they're asking for our worst fears,
Peach told them.
Isn't that kind of, I don't know, personal?
She chuckled.
Me too,
said Luigi in agreement.
I think it is suspicious. You think everything is suspicious?
Blooper pointed out, twirling the tempura oyster sign with his tentacle. He immediately gave the paper and pen to Peach and proceeded to eat his food. McAllyboo came back a minute later.
Thank you,
he said quietly, grabbing the items from her.
Let's see. All 5 players are here, along with their most despised fears. Thank you for cooperating. I hope you players will all have a pleasant meal and a pleasant night tonight, now that I have your personal info written down and in my possession.
He folded the paper in half and stuffed it rudely into his coat pocket, then headed away for the last time.
I swear, McAllyboo can make me laugh,
Toadette said, chuckling.
I don't feel like laughing at all,
Lakitu said, shoving a spoonful of cabbage into his mouth.
I'm still mad over that bell challenge. It was the mole's fault.
Peach, Blooper said, without looking up from his plate.
She's a girl. I'm a girl too,
Toadette pointed out.
Are you being sexist against us? I also think Luigi is the mole,
he explained.
And he's not a girl. But basically I just don't like her.
Luigi looked at him in surprise.
Peach is not the mole,
he exclaimed.
I'm sure of it, and you're wrong. Could you be the mole, Luigi?
Luigi went straight back to his eating. Luigi, no. I can not be the mole. I promise to everyone watching on TV that I am not the mole. Why would people say that? I'm too weak to be the mole. And if I were the mole, I would be a stronger person and act like a strong person too.
What I think, Blooper,
Peach argued,
is that you try to blame others for being the mole, but instead, it's your way of hiding the fact that you're being the mole all along.
Nobody said anything for a while.
I'm not the mole,
Blooper said quickly.
And of course, nobody thinks Lakitu is the mole,
Toadette said. Peach laughed, and the other two grinned. Lakitu glared at her jokingly. Toadette, I've never once voted for Lakitu on the execution quizzes, and I haven't been executed yet. I don't know what to conclude yet, but I'll just say that I don't think Lakitu is the mole. Sorry, Lakitu. Peach, I do not think that Luigi could be the mole. Ever since day one, I haven't really looked at him to be suspicious. He's just there, and he always claims to be not the mole, and I strangely believe him.
I don't look like the mole because the mole's job is to hide him or herself,
Lakitu explained.
So I could be it.
He silently pointed at himself, mouthing the words, I'm the mole.
Blooper, you are so lucky to have a room by yourself,
Toadette told him.
Envy. Grr.
Blooper only continued to eat his food without bothering to look up.
Have I ever told you that Luigi snores?
Blooper said, changing the subject.
He's a loud snorer. He's a really, really loud snorer and he's annoying. So tough luck, Lakitu. He is.
Peach asked.
I didn't know that. Nobody ever told me. I've survived worse,
Lakitu replied.
Well,
Luigi said, getting up from his chair.
My appetite suddenly disappeared. I feel like going to my room now. We just started eating,
Peach pointed out. Luigi apparently changed his mind and sat back down. Peach got up from her seat to wash her hands. Unknown to any of them, the info they had just given to Michaliboo that dinner would play a crucial part in their next challenge. Had they listened to the clue the waiter had given them earlier, all would have been simpler for their upcoming game. In room 786, Peach and Toadette were busy unpacking their luggage.
Hey,
Peach said, seeing a piece of paper on the drawer. She looked at it with confusion.
It's a clue,
realized Toadette.
Look at it. It's just like the one Luigi dropped off at our rooms a long time ago. Of course it's a clue,
Peach told her.
Come on. But it's a really strange and confusing one. Do you know what it says?
Until you see on first letters, add it out and make your choice. Listen up, scoff. Now listen and careful in NGER, even up you can see the mole.
The only thing I see,
Peach spotted,
is that C is spelled wrong. Scoff is a word I've never heard before,
Toadette said, pointing.
And it says NGERO, maybe it's a secret message for the word anger. Hey, I think I'm getting somewhere. Let's focus on this later,
said Peach.
That challenge this morning was a nightmare, and I'm so tired.
She yawned and fell back onto the bed.
Well,
Toadette decided,
you can sleep as much as you want, but I'm not done looking at this clue. I'll try to get any information off from this as much as I can get. Come on, help me. I'm not tired yet.
Peach ignored her and went to sleep. The same note was found in room 787. Both Lakitu and Luigi had tried their best to find the meaning of the poetic words.
The last part looks as if it was taken straight out from the Odyssey,
Lakitu commented, folding the paper in half.
Mumbo jumbo, dead language that won't help us and doesn't tell us sh. If you look up,
Luigi read,
you can see the mole.
Luigi looked up at the ceiling.
I don't see the mole,
he said out loud.
You're an idiot, Luigi,
Lakitu said, pointing at him.
Hey,
he replied.
Don't say that to me.
He opened the curtains to reveal a wide snapshot of the town they were in. It was better than Rogueport, in his opinion.
The mole is probably getting a kick out of this,
Lakitu said, sighing.
I'm exhausted. I don't need stupid clues to help me. I already know who the mole is.
He silently pointed to himself.
You're the mole,
Luigi said with surprise.
But I thought that. Yup,
he replied.
Go to bed, plumber.
He entered the bathroom before Luigi could take it. Lakitu, so if I were the mole, I would try to not let too much of your information out. I wouldn't talk to others so I could hide my identity really easily. At executions, you can relax and slack off, knowing that you can't be kicked off the show. Come on, being the mole is easy. Luigi, I have made it this far in this game show, and I have to win. If I'm eliminated, I will be so mad. It would be a nightmare to me and a disgrace to Mario. Peach, so far I haven't really gotten a solid grip on who I think is the mole. but once the episode is over, I think I might be more confident. Toadette, sometimes I look at Peach and ask myself, could she be the mole? Could Lakitu be the mole too? Why are there so many questions and no answers? Blooper, it's a shame. It's just a shame how gullible my opponents can be. What the players didn't know was that the night wouldn't be filled with rest. One by one, the doorbells rang, and McAliboo gave them a warning.
Who, hey, what?
Toadette said, opening the door.
McAliboo? Hello. Come down in 5 minutes,
he told her,
or you'll be sorry.
Toadette darted back into her room to wake up Peach.
Hey. I'm sleepy,
she complained.
Let me go.
Toadette brought Peach up to her feet, and they both got ready. Luigi answered the door to room 787.
Wow!
he exclaimed.
You're wide awake,
McAliboo said.
Come down in 5 minutes, or you'll be sorry. 5 minutes,
Luigi replied.
That's impossible.
McAliboo closed the door.
Hey Lakitu,
Luigi said, repeatedly shaking the bed to wake him up.
Hurry, hurry. Was that McAliboo?
he asked, his face still buried in his pillow.
Yup. No. Damn it. Foo. Another challenge.
Lakitu, when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't think. And the only thing McAliboo could think of is putting us in a challenge, and it ticks me off. McAliboo went up a floor, to the room of Blooper. He knocked, and Blooper answered it.
Is it you?
Blooper said.
Come down in 5 minutes,
McAliboo said to him.
Very well.
It was 2:45. Luigi and Lakitu arrived 2 minutes ahead of time, seeing McAliboo and Blooper already on the couch in the lobby.
I was thinking you would make it,
Blooper told them.
Lakitu suddenly got the urge to get ready in our room,
Luigi said.
And he did. Why the hell are you so awake?
Lakitu questioned. A minute passed by, and there was still no sign of Peach and Toadette.
If they don't come now,
McAliboo informed,
then they'll be sorry.
5 extra minutes passed. Lakitu was already sleeping on the sofa.
I quit,
Blooper said.
They're not here.
Finally, after 14 minutes, Toadette and Peach arrived down the stairs, both looking refreshed and wide awake. Lakitu jumped to his feet and pointed to them.
You!
he shouted.
Why? Why what?
Peach said. She giggled.
5 minutes,
Blooper said to them.
Does it ring a bell? Okay,
Toadette admitted.
We didn't arrive in 5 minutes, but we're girls so we get excused.
Oops, Peach said, putting her hand up to her mouth.
We're sorry. We're girls, you know. We take a long time.
McAliboo penalizes the team 10,000 coins, 5,000 coins for each player who had not made it down to the lobby in 5 minutes. Lakitu is off to a bad awakening.
Hey, thanks a lot, girls,
Luigi huffed. Lakitu, I would have wasted 500 coins in exchange for a chance to take my time in getting ready. This sucks. If I were to get eliminated this episode, these kind of things would be the least of what I'll miss. Blooper, I'm just really suspicious of everyone around me. Luigi hasn't really been showing any signs of sabotage, but I'll just keep watching him. The 5 players were brought into a degrading area, into the sewer level of the Bob-omb town. A sign was present at the top of the descending stairs. Entering is prohibited.
I'm guessing we're going to enter,
Luigi guessed.
Hold your noses,
warned Micaliboo. They walked down into their 13th challenge. No sewer water was present though, except for the occasional drops leaking from the ground above them. The stench continued to grow and worsen.
This is so nasty,
Peach said with a disgusted tone.
You. God, what's that smell?
Toadette shouted. Everyone coughed and laughed simultaneously. Blooper put on his cap.
I don't feel like doing this a challenge,
said Luigi. All followed Micaliboo even farther, as they walked and continued to walk for another 5 minutes past puddles of brown water. He didn't say a word until they reached the end, 2 wooden doors built into the dead end. Finally, he talked.
Greetings,
he said to them, turning around.
I'm assuming that you're all wondering why I've brought you here underground. It's because your next challenge lies here.
The players listened carefully.
You will all be facing off against another player,
he explained.
All except for one of you. 2 at a time you will be going through those doors.
He pointed directly behind him.
You'll each face a different room, or hallway as I should say. At the end will be a metal door, which you must find the key for and unlock. For each person who unlocks their door within 1 minute, you will each add 10,000 coins to the pot.
The 5 of them looked happy at the idea, yet still uncertain as always.
Though, there is a catch,
he added.
The one who opens their door first will actually get to open it. And what's in the door?
Luigi asked.
Here, I'll give you one clue as to what's on the other side.
From under his jacket Micaliboo took out a piece of paper which they all recognized immediately.
No,
Lakitu said, shaking his head.
Are you serious?
It was the paper they had given him during their dinner.
Oh my gosh,
Peach said, smiling. Peach, as soon as I remembered what I had written down, I was like, uh-oh. This will not be pretty at all. Micaliboo immediately took out something else, 5 photographs, which he simply plopped onto the floor. One of them recognized the picture on the top of the pile in a flash, quicker than the others.
This is what will be behind the locked door,
Micaliboo said firmly.
Whether facing a fear will be deserving enough or not, is, for you to decide.
Toadette immediately picked up the first photograph from the pile. It was a female toad, who had blonde hair instead of pigtails and a kind face that had a striking similarity to the person who was holding it.
It's my...
Toadette started. The second photograph revealed was of a plump, round man that everyone in the room recognized. Especially Luigi. Ha! Ha ha! Tomorrow, my ass! I completely changed the upcoming challenge, thus the deletion of another chapter. But if you check my profile, there is another clue you can take a look at. It's the random hotel note the players had encountered. What's the hidden message to it? And please vote on my forums poll before episode 5 ends. Yeah, do so. So who's the mole? And what really is the sewer challenge? End of chapter. Chapter 19, Fear the Rescuer. Episode 5, Part 4.
It's Mario!
Luigi exclaimed, picking the photograph up and looking at it while jumping in anticipation.
It's my brother. My mother,
Toadette said softly, staring at the photograph she had. The third photograph was of a young, female Lakitu and Lakitu's mouth dropped in surprise.
Dominique,
he said, picking up the picture.
What is she, your sister?
Blooper questioned.
My future queen,
Lakitu replied dreamily. Peach giggled and picked up the next photograph.
Oh my,
she said, her hand to her mouth. She seemed as enthusiastic as the others, seeing a photograph of an elderly lady, with grey hair and same royal attire.
My Aunt Katrina,
she said, smiling. The last picture was of a blooper with a mustache, and though many bloopers appeared the same, this one had an odd matching to one who was looking at it.
Hey, my dad,
said Blooper. He, too, picked up the picture and viewed it. Blooper, seeing a picture of my dad sparked a feeling in me. It made me remember that I was not living my regular life right now, and that I was nowhere near home. Lakitu, they show us pictures of our relatives, and I see a picture of my girlfriend smiling and looking all innocent. My initial reaction is that she's being held hostage along with the rest of our loved ones.
Where is she?
Lakitu asked Mikalibu.
I want to see her.
All Mikalibu did was lay 5 rocks on the sewer floor. The players ended their excitement and stared silently at Mikalbo, who did a hand gesture as if they were supposed to choose a rock each for themselves. Lakitu picked one and turned it over. An X.
First come, first serve,
Mikalibu told them. They all grabbed for a rock, each one marked with a letter. Toadette, X. Luigi, O. Peach, O. Blooper, E.
This is how the challenge will go,
started Mikalibu.
This is the relatives rescue. It offers a chance for you to meet with your loved ones until tomorrow, or rather, today's night.
The players exchanged excited glances, and Luigi jumped up and down with delight.
But not all of you will be able to do so,
he added. The faces immediately dropped into confused stares.
You will be facing head-to-head against another player,
he explained,
and you will both enter into one of these doors simultaneously. There is a key that is used for unlocking the door at the end. If you find it, and if you are the first to unlock the door will open and you will see your loved one. The second player will unlock the door, but would not be able to open it. This challenge will test both your willingness and determination.
Mikalibu looked at the disappointed faces of the players. He smiled. Toadette, as soon as I realized that not all of us would be able to see our relatives, my heart just sank.
However, for every one of you that succeeds in unlocking your door within 1 minute, it will add 10,000 coins to the pot. Any questions?
Nobody said a word.
Lakitu and Toadette, you're both up. The others, please go through that door.
A cameraman brought Luigi, Blooper, and Peach into a separate door on the side, where various monitors were present. Lakitu and Toadette were directed to stand directly in front of the doors they were to enter, and they looked at each other. Pasted on their doors was a picture of their loved ones.
"This is hideous,"
Toadette said quietly, looking straight at him.
"This is a hideous challenge." "I agree with you,"
Lakitu admitted. Lakitu, I looked at Toadette, and I see tears already forming in her eyes. I want to see my girlfriend again, no doubt. So it just doesn't make sense how this challenge would work out.
"I can't believe this is the challenge,"
Toadette told him.
"Who would ever think of this kind of game?"
10 minutes passed by. Lakitu and Toadette stood side by side, not saying anything to each other until Mikalibu appeared. He looked at his clock, then looked at them.
"Remember,"
he said.
"Each unlocked door before on minute is worth 10,000 coins. Also take into mind that only the first to unlock their door will actually get to see their loved one."
Lakitu looked at Toadette, who was trembling and fixing her pigtails. He discovered himself that he was also trembling.
"On you mark,"
Mikalibu began. Both of them got ready.
"Get set. Go."
The three non-participating players watched on the monitor screens. On one, the hallway of Lakitu. On the other, the hallway of Toadette.
"Come on,"
Peach said.
"I really want both of them to win. Especially Toadette. I want to see Lakitu's girlfriend,"
Blooper told them.
"He told me that he's obsessed with her."
In Lakitu's hallway, white sparks.
"Damn it!"
he shouted. A sprinkler on the floor was sending small sparks horizontally across his path. He ducked and ran across, yelling as the harmless sparks touched his body. On both sides of him, firecrackers hanging from the ceiling were shooting in all directions. He covered his mouth at the excessive smoke, and feet away from him lay a cardboard box. Lakitu, the room was crazy. I inhaled so much smoke and I was just running my ass away from any of the sparking objects. I was afraid that one of the sparks would fly into my throat, and I would choke and die. The thing was, I didn't get burned at all, and then I saw the key in a box and I knew I was going to beat Toadette. Toadette's hallway wasn't as chaotic. She nervously stepped her way into the center, where a single glass tube on a table was present. Toadette gasped and stepped back.
"You,"
she said nervously. A key was taped to the other side of the glass container. In order to retrieve it, her hand would be forced to push past the spider webs and 3 tarantulas that had littered the inside of the tube. She shook her hand in fright and looked at the locked door at the end. Toadette, I can't even look at a spider, and here they were, expecting me to be some stupid macho player and stick my hand into a spider web with large spiders. I would have done anything to go back in time and change my fear on that piece of paper, because apparently Blooper discovered the meaning and wrote gold, and I was enough of an idiot to write down what I actually feared. Toadette squealed, sticking a finger into the hole to touch the spider web. She immediately pulled it back. Lakitu approached the cardboard box and looked inside. A firecracker toy was wildly maneuvering its way around, violently shooting sparks around as the key lay in the center. Lakitu grimaced and let out a yell as he quickly grabbed the key, feeling a split second of fire. He had it in his hand.
"Yes!"
he shouted.
"Yes, yes, yes!"
The other half of the hallway was completely empty, and Lucky 2 ran quickly to the end with the all-important key of success. Toadette looked at the glass tube again. The spiders were attempting to crawl out, but were unable to due to the heavy layers of spider webs. Toadette fell to the floor in distress. Lucky 2 opened his door, the timer down to 10 seconds.
"Oh,"
Luigi said with surprise.
"I think we have a winner."
On another monitor, Lucky 2 was happily hugging his girlfriend as they celebrated together. Next to it was a monitor which displayed Toadette's mother, waiting patiently and straightening her dress. Peach looked hurt. Lucky 2, Dominique, and Toadette were brought back to the entrance, along with the 3 others. Dominique gave Lucky 2 a huge kiss in front of everybody, and Michaliboo took out a handkerchief and dabbed his eyes.
"They're so sweet together,"
he said happily. Everyone laughed.
"Since Toadette failed to unlock her door within the minute, the pot only receives 10,000 coins,
Michaliboo added.
"Is it necessary to speak like that about me?"
Toadette snapped. She had sunglasses on, but everyone could tell that she was crying. Toadette walked off to the other end of the sewer with Peach.
"I'm pissed off,"
she whispered, walking away from the others.
"Ahem,"
Luigi said awkwardly.
"I think I'm a next. Oh dear."
He looked at Toadette.
"Go entertain Luigi and Blooper,"
Lucky 2 told Dominique.
"Just for a second."
He walked over to Toadette, who paced around the dim area with Peach's arms around her. "Peach, I hated this as much as Toadette. I mean, I don't blame Lucky 2. But I hate to see her cry, and this was the most rational moment to do so." Blooper, I really don't mean to be rude, or a bastard or anything, but I think Toadette shouldn't cry just because she's unable to see her mom. If I wasn't able to see my dad, I would just shake the fact off and forget about it.
"Hey, Toadette,"
Lucky 2 started.
"I'm sorry. I really am." "It's not your fault,"
Toadette said, her crying decreasing.
"I told you, it was a hideous challenge."
She took off her sunglasses. Lucky 2, a part of me wanted to cry too, but then that would have looked just plain stupid. So, you know, it's a game, and if Toadette felt hurt by it then she knows that it wasn't her fault. I like Toadette.
"I know it was hideous,"
Lucky 2 said with agreement.
"And I hated it. It sucked. But that's how the game goes, and some things are just unfair and cruel on this show." "I know,"
she said quietly. She continued to sob, and Peach asked Michaliboo for Toadette's permission to go back to the hotel. After confirming that Toadette had no more to participate in the challenge, Toadette was brought back by the producers. "Toadette, crying doesn't get you anywhere, and I knew that but I couldn't control it. I was hurt about how they brought my mother here just to see me and that I blew my chances. It gets right under my skin how they would have allowed such a game to be on this show." Luigi and Peach were next. They stood in front of the doors with the photos of their loved ones attached to the front. Luigi was nervously tapping his fingers against the side of the sewer wall, looking at the picture of his shorter, yet older, brother.
"May the best player win,"
Luigi said, grinning and sticking out his hand. Peach grinned back and shook his. "Peach, if I won't see my aunt? Well, I'll be sad. I know this will sound mean, but then I'd get to see Mario, and that's just as good. Luigi, I'm a stronger person now, because I've survived past 4 episodes of this game. I can rescue my brother, no matter what darkness has to do with this. Dark, you shall be beaten. I've made it to the final 5, and I won't fall victim to anyone.
I can face snakes, Peach said confidently. I'll get the key first. Oh no, you won't. On you mark,
Macalibou began. Both of them got ready.
Get set. Go.
Peach entered her hallway and spotted the shallow pit in the middle. She smiled and covered her mouth with disbelief. A large anaconda was seen, slithering around the indent in the floor. The key was attached to its end. Luigi saw nothing. The hallway was pitch black, and Luigi immediately stuck his hands out in front of him like a blind person as a navigationing device. Luigi, the door behind me closes before I realize that there's no light at all on the other side. I'm petrified of the dark, but at that moment, something miraculous happened. I wasn't scared, and that blew my mind away.
Come on, big boy,
Peach shouted, stepping towards the snake. It slithered away from her, and Peach tiptoed closer. When it turned around and eyed her, Peach shrieked with delight and stepped out of the circle. Peach, I'm a foot away from this snake, and there's a key taped to its tail that I have to get, and I'm saying to myself, I can do this. But at the same time I'm jumping away from it and I don't want to get the key.
I see you,
Luigi said out loud, closing his own eyes and wandering across the hallway. The key was hanging in the air, strung around a string from the ceiling. Luigi felt it and continued to pull it down. It didn't come off.
I'm doing it,
he said to himself.
I'm doing it. Mario, I'm coming.
He tugged even more. Peach shrieked and ran up to the snake, who was paying no attention to her at the second she attempted to retrieve the key. She tore the key off from the snake as the animal hissed violently, causing Peach to scream the rest of the way down to the door. With all his strength, Luigi pulled off the key from the string and continued forwards. He walked and walked until he found the metal door at the end of the dark hall. For 10 seconds he struggled to open the single lock, fumbling around and finally opening it after a wasted period of time. Peach had already opened her door first. Luigi, darn. If only the light had been on, 'cause I definitely got the key before Peach did. I had mixed feelings going through me once I realized that my door didn't open.
Peach and Luigi,
Macalibou said.
You both unlocked your doors within 1 minute, Peach, in 52 seconds, and Luigi, in a dramatic 57 seconds, so you have successfully added both sides of the 10,000 coins into the pot.
They high-fived each other, and Peach hugged her aunt. Luigi looked down at the ground and grinned.
And Aunt Katrina,
Peach told her.
You know Luigi, right? Well, he's unable to see his loved one, so just take that into realization. Oh sweetie, I know,
Peach's aunt said to Luigi.
And I know that your brother is just as proud of you as I am of my niece.
Luigi shrugged and smiled. Luigi, I feel that I'm a much stronger person now. I faced dark, Looking back at how I traveled through that dark hall all by myself, I can't believe it. And though I didn't see Mario, I still can tell him what I did. But once I get to see him again, with the money in my hand after I discover who the mole is. Lakitu, knowing that Luigi went through a hallway of nothing but pitch black, raises some suspicion. I mean, I know who Luigi is, and others do too. He would never do such a damn thing like that, ever. Maybe it was the money and Mario that motivated him, but I'm still considering it.
Blooper, Macalibou said, picking up his stone with the E imprinted on the bottom. This is your chance to win an exemption.
Peach, Luigi, and Lakitu all looked at him with wide eyes.
At this stage, an exemption is crucial, he explained. Since you have no other person left to face, you must face your fear on your own. If you decide to open the door within 1 minute, you will see your dad for until tomorrow night along with the others. However, there's the other way that you can go. If you refuse to open the door within a minute, you will win an exemption to the next round, but not only that, you will win back the 10,000 coins that had been lost in this challenge.
Blooper nodded slowly and faced the others. Peach, I'm just so baffled and, what should I say, gloomed, that I haven't yet been offered to get an exemption. Toadette and Luigi have each gotten one. Lakitu got one but lost it. Now, Blooper is being offered one right now, and I'm so desperate now because I'm the only one left who hasn't gotten an advantage over the others.
So it's either see my loved one,
Blooper repeated,
or add 10,000 into the pot and get my exemption.
10 minutes passed by. Lakitu's girlfriend, though, made the time for the players fly and kept them at an over-entertained level. The next 10 minutes was full of laughter. Blooper, this lady of Lakitu's is a real talker. I mean, she's tells us all about her life and we're laughing our asses off at every sentence she says.
And so suddenly,
Dominique continued,
Lakitu just starts doing it in the middle of the street, and everyone is there to see him and thinks he's some mentally handicapped fellow with a distorted mind, who's trying his best to turn people on. He didn't even bother to block up, I mean, he's purposely exposing himself to everyone and trying to make the people on the street find him sexually desirable.
Lakitu buried his head in his hands, dying from embarrassment as everyone burst into laughter. Macalibou continued to display his shocked look of innocence. Peach, she told us this story where Lakitu decided to urinate in public. What the hell, it was hilarious. She needs to be a comedian at my party. Lakitu, okay, she really stretched out that story. Number 1. There weren't that many people on the street when I did it. Second, I wasn't trying to be sexually attractive or trying to turn other people on. I swear, it was a desperate act that I didn't want to do. Oy vey. The hallway of bloopers was ready. As the others went into the side door to look on with the monitors, Blooper faced the door with a picture of his father pasted to the front. Below it was the message, "Is a sacrifice worth a sacrifice?"
Are you ready?
Macalibou said. Blooper didn't say anything.
Go.
He opened the door and found gold. An entire layer of gold created a 3-foot fence that Blooper had to climb over, with a key placed on the top of it. He grabbed the key with ease and faced the other end of the hall, with the door. Unlocking the door would reunite him with his father. Staying where he was for 50 seconds would guarantee a free pass to the second-to-last episode. As the other players looked at Blooper on the screen, they saw him hesitate momentarily.
"He'll do it,"
Luigi said.
"If he's the mole,"
Peach stated,
"then an exemption would be useless for him. If he isn't,"
Lucky 2 said,
"then he's really struggling here instead of pretending to hesitate."
Blooper walked confidently up to the metal door, unlocked it, and swung it open. Blooper and his dad appeared in front of the other three as they clapped cheerfully. Blooper had given up the money, and at the same time, his guarantee to a free pass.
"As valuable as an exemption may seem,"
he told them,
"it's almost worthless compared to spending time with a loved one, my own father."
They all nodded, and McAliboo cleared his throat.
"You've turned down your exemption and the money, but nonetheless, the pot now stands at a large amount of 135,000 coins,
he concluded. All the loved ones were struck with a spell of silence.
"Holy mackerel!"
Blooper's dad exclaimed.
"Son, why didn't you tell me this?" "'Cause it was against the rules,"
Blooper replied.
"Oh my gosh!"
Lucky 2's girlfriend squealed, hugging him.
"I love you, Lucky 2. Even if you don't win the money, it won't matter, 'cause I'll always have you, and that's already worth 1,000,000 coins to me."
McAliboo let out an awkward "w" exclamation that made all of them laugh. Team Pot 135,000C. Blooper, I know how valuable an exemption is. But giving up my dad to earn it would have been a really worthless act. Peach, I think Blooper made the morally correct choice, and made the choice according to him, but I've never imagined how someone could turn down an exemption at this desperate stage of the game. An exemption here is worth a bucket of gold, no matter the cost.
Blooper, Peach, and Lucky 2,
McAliboo continued.
Congratulations for earning your time to spend with your loved ones, which will last until tonight after the 5th execution. It's now 3 o'clock in the morning, so you'll probably want to go back to the hotels now and get some rest. Luigi, I'm sorry to say that you will not be able to spend time with your loved one, Mario.
Luigi smiled sheepishly.
Which brings us to part 2,
said McAliboo.
Lucky 2 and Peach, you probably both feel horrible about defeating your opponent and preventing him or her from seeing their loved ones, so now you have the chance to redeem yourselves.
Lucky 2 raised an eyebrow, and Peach clapped with joy.
If you grab one of these,
McAliboo said, holding up 2 yellow cards with the word neutralizer imprinted onto them,
then you will neutralize yourself for the entirety of the next episode. Once a player is neutralized, they are disqualified from gaining any exemptions until the end of the episode, and in this special and damaging case, 2 episodes. Once you grab a neutralizer, you will be asked a question that holds the freedom to Luigi's brother, in Peach's case, and to Toadette's mom, in Lucky 2's. So I won't be able to win any exemptions at all for the rest of the game?
Peach questioned.
Well, technically I'm not counting the last episode,
McAliboo told her and Lucky 2.
But the last round has no exemptions available at all, so yes.
Lucky 2 sighed deeply and put his hands behind his head.
I don't look forward to that at all,
Lucky 2 admitted, looking at Peach. Peach looked at Luigi, then her aunt.
Come on, girl,
Peach's aunt said.
You came here for the experience, not the money. You've already done a fine job making it this far.
Peach, if I take the card, then I'm done. I'll forever be ostracized from the others and will never receive the chance at a second chance at the executions.
What am I thinking?
Peach said.
Of course you're right, Auntie Cot.
She grinned and took a yellow card from Micaliboo. Luigi immediately began to jump up and down like an eager puppy.
Thank you, Peach,
he shouted, his shout echoing through the damp tunnel.
You owe me a big one,
Peach said, shoving him softly.
A real big one.
Luigi, Peach is not the mole. She's too kind to be the mole, so now I only have 3 people left on my list, Lucky 2, Toadette, and Blooper. Lucky 2, Peach has taken a card for Luigi, and now it's my turn to be a hero for Toadette. But it's at a cost that makes it difficult to decide. Having a neutralizer until the end will suck so badly for me. It'll put me at a huge risk. Lucky 2 stayed where he was, his hands behind his head and his eyes closed. Lucky 2, it was a game, and Toadette failed to be reunited with her relative. I don't see why I should play a part in her success, because at this stage, I'm playing for nobody except for myself. If you've ever seen the Mole US, then you know how cruel the relative games are. Yup, Relative Disguise and Bungie were the best games. The poll on my profile will be taken down once episode 5 ends, so vote if you have your initial opinion ready on who is the mole. Note that you do not have to travel all the way to my forums, it's embedded in my profile, thanks to the poll beta testers. Execution 5 is approaching, though. End of chapter.